Hello everyone, last year I somehow managed to predict the Xbox Showcase pretty decently well, but this year I wanted to yet again share what is safe predictions, but also some personal hopes, maybe some wild cards, but really tackling this new feeling about Xbox, like the new era of Xbox, honestly, because this is my most anticipated event every year for like just showcases in general. I'm a showcase guy. I love showcases. Hello, by the way, if you've never been here before, Samurai Kibuji. I freaking love video games and talking about them with you. So let me know, like, what are you hoping to see most in this showcase in the comments? But I'm just not feeling the same as I usually do for Xbox showcases. And I have reasons for that I'm going to break down towards the end. And I want to see big reveals. I'm looking at you, Double Fine. That's a tease for later. And yeah, I'll be happy if I get those. But this Xbox Showcase in 2025 is following up two things. One, what many are deeming as the best Xbox Showcase ever last year. Like, so many unanimously were saying like that was a 10 out of 10 masterpiece of a showcase. So how the heck do you follow that up when you show 30 games, which a lot of showcases do, but more than half of them were first party stuff? I averaged out in my previous video when I was predicting things that it's like usually give or take 12, but 17, that's a massive new record. And the other thing is that the dominoes are falling for Xbox. Xbox is finally in this place that they, in just the front half of this year, released Avowed, Towerborn, sort of, South of Midnight, Doom, a remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it, of Elder Scrolls Oblivion. But I would imagine after the success of last year's showcase, even though that's a tough act to follow, they will want to follow it of sorts. And they've learned that just talking about new releases instead of remasters or re-releases, Game Pass gets, it just does better to just focus on that newer stuff. And maybe that's why we've gotten these, like the Gears of War Reloaded thing and Oblivion and Tony Hawk. Those things happened before the show, even though they totally could have happened during. So here's things that I think will happen and also I hope happen. And it's funny, as I put all this together, came to my same ratio as last year, where there's like 3 ABK things, 4 Bethesda things, and 7 Xbox Game Studios things. That's literally like the same ratio as last year, and I did not go into this thinking that would happen. Let's first talk about what are the safe bets of this show. The things that, you know, just getting kind of obvious stuff out of the way. Like, obviously, we're probably going to get the usual live service updates and stuff. We got Fallout 76, of course. Elder Scrolls Online, of course. Sea of Thieves, of course. Nothing about Halo Infinite, because Halo will just never grace the Xbox stage again. Or will it? What is a kind of more exciting safe bet, though, is DLC for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and Starfield. Now, Indiana Jones' Great Circle, some might question that, and it's like, but the game just came out. But there is DLC confirmed for it. I don't remember if we've learned what it's called, like the Tales of the Giants or something. But Machine Games is the developer of this game, and their last major release with Wolfenstein 2, they had DLC ready for that game within the year of. They had like 3 expansions that they released, and I would not doubt that they are kind of ready to have the DLC for Indiana Jones here, especially since it was promoted before the game was coming out, and it's been doing great on PS5. Starfield, on the other hand, that is a bit more up in the air, but Bethesda did say this is a big year for Starfield, and I would imagine maybe one more big DLC is a part of that, especially maybe wrapping up its Xbox life cycle. We're going to have some stuff to talk about in a moment. But something I didn't really think of until I really sat down to collect my thoughts on this show is Call of Duty. What's going to happen with Call of Duty? And I say that because I'm not one that, I don't follow leaks and rumors. So if you're wanting like an absolute, this is what everybody's saying thing, that's not what I do. I share roughly what I know, as well as ideas that I think is very plausible. And Call of Duty is no question going to be part of like every Xbox game showcase now in some way, just some presence. And I feel like it could be a new game. Are they going to have a yearly release of Call of Duty under Xbox now? It's going to be really curious to find that out this year. But the bare minimum, a season pass or expansion for like Warzone or Black Ops 6, like just something like that's going to happen. A new zombie map. Those are the safe things that you could expect, I think, is very, put that on your bingo cards. But here's the things that are a bit more dicey and are my biggest, like, I will pop off if any of these happen at the Xbox Game Showcase. Toys for Bob. Plug into Canadian Guy A. He is a great channel about platformers and especially Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. And he has a great video that he broke down about what is rumoredly Spyro 4 that's in development at Toys for Bob and its release window and marketing schedule. And spoilers, he gave this idea that it could be revealed at the show this year to be released next year. I think that's very possible. Like, you reveal Spyro 4 at the show and it says 2026, and then there's a developer direct for it early next year. I will pop off to see a new Toys for Bob game that'll be available day one on Game Pass, partnership with Xbox Publishing. Yes. Double Fine's next game has been in development for a while now, and they did say for our 25th anniversary this year, we got some big plans, so make sure you follow us and we'll be posting about them and stuff. And it's been 4 years, at least later this year, it'll be 4 years since Psychonauts 2 released. So I think it's about time to find out what they're working on next. At the least a project reveal, you know, kind of like Clockwork Revolution did back in 2023. Just a project reveal. I'm not saying they have to give us a date. Just a reveal. If Gears of War E-Day gameplay gets revealed, I won't lose my shit, but I'll be very excited because that's a great sign for this idea that I have, as well as many rumors and, you know, reports are saying for a 20th anniversary for Gears of War, like a release next year. That would be great. If we see gameplay, that bodes a really good sign, and hopefully the gameplay, you know, maybe it won't blow us away, but it just gives us this sense of confidence that Halo Infinite's gameplay didn't really bode for folks. I really hope that, you know, Gears of War E-Day pulls it off, and it's like, yeah, for our 20th anniversary next year, we're releasing E-Day. Here's the gameplay. Here's 2026. Now, this is a big one that I said in my like Xbox timeline video at the start of the year. The StarCraft shooter that apparently Jason Schreier has confirmed is a thing, or at least was a thing. Like, you know, he was aware that there is some sort of StarCraft shooter, potentially open world or whatever, third person, that's in the works at Blizzard. And that would be a really cool thing to end the show with. Like that's something that isn't near and dear to me, but I can recognize. That's something about me if you never met me. I can recognize the significance of that. And that would be pretty freaking cool. Though, I mean, it would have been cool to just, you know, get an actual strategy StarCraft, like, I'll take a shooter though. And this fifth one is kind of split between two, but they're both kind of the same thing. Just a release date or release window for Replaced, amazing 2D Xbox exclusive game that many are waiting for after just Ukrainian shenanigans. Like, totally, you know, they deserve the time, but is it time? And Clockwork Revolution from In Exile Games. Their last game, Wasteland 3, was in 2020. And we saw the gameplay reveal of this next project of theirs in 2023. Yeah. So I just feel like it's a, you know, if it's releasing in 2026, it would be pretty cool to get that confirmed here. And then maybe that's another developer direct at the start of next year. We're filling slots up for that developer direct next year because I'm confident Fable will be one of those. But those are the things that would really excite me on a personal level. And I haven't really mentioned other things, like things that would, I'll call them the would be nice category. Like, I'd love to see Halo. I'm a Halo guy. I'm a Halo guy. I want to see Halo back on the main stage that is the Xbox showcase, but unfortunately, I think Xbox is just really playing a really cautious card with Halo, and it's like, when we show it next, it's got to show well, and it's got to be something big. The next DLC for Diablo 4, I would definitely like to see that. Again, not super exciting thing, but Vessel of Hatred definitely left off on a note that there's clearly more to be had here, and it'd be nice if we got that on a yearly schedule. Everwild and Contraband existing. What happened to those games? Are they alive? And I know we're getting a whole Outer Worlds 2 direct after this show, but I'm just not that sold on Outer Worlds 2. I just experienced Avowed, and it feels too soon to play another Obsidian RPG, but hopefully the Direct proves me wrong. That's another thing that I think would be nice. And it's so funny, like I'm not saying every one of my hopes are going to happen, but as I like listed out everything, the ratio lined up to be the same ratio that I kind of proposed last year. So who knows if that happens again, like my list from last year. I don't know if I'm a prophet or something, but I find it all decently freaking believable. But all this still doesn't change how I'm just feeling really different about this most anticipated moment of the year for me. Like, I don't even know if it's that for me this year, which is crazy because I really have always loved tuning into the Xbox Showcase. I'd say for the past 5 years, probably since around 2020. And I think that's because I wanted to see Xbox make the comeback. I wanted to see them get out of this third place stranglehold and all their acquisitions pay off. They have all these studios now to address that, first party problem that they had during the Xbox One era. It seems like we are finally there now. Like, I haven't even mentioned Perfect Dark, Fable, State of Decay 3, Blade, OD, Ninja Gaiden, Elder Scrolls 6. There's a lot of things that we know, like the roadmap of Xbox now in comparison to Nintendo and PlayStation. And I think that alongside how split the fan base is now with the whole multi-platform direction Xbox is going. Like, I'm okay with that direction, but I definitely admit it's made being an Xbox fan and Xbox fans in general very split right now. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you during this show, we will probably see some of those logos of PlayStation and Nintendo on the trailers. And that's going to create a really weird feeling alongside this powerhouse feeling that Xbox is becoming, being like the most sold games of the year. And with that, again, massive roadmap, it just doesn't feel like I'm rooting for the dark horse or the underdog anymore. And I think that's why it almost feels like I'm watching an epilogue. I'm watching an epilogue to the hero succeeding in his journey, which was last year's showcase. Because last year's showcase was the thing. It was the blowout. Like 2023 and 2024, I thought were great showcases. And it was starting to be like, okay, is this consistent? And then 2025, it's like, oh no, it's consistent. And there's so much stuff on the horizon that you can't even fathom. And now it's just like, okay, you're there. You watch a hero to struggle. I will be reacting to it, and I really hope to see Halo, Toys R Bob, and Gears gameplay, for instance. Those three things I would probably like almost fall out of my chair about, but we'll have to find out together. And like I predicted last year's showcase, but there's more content. Like, I'm just looking forward, man. I want to talk with you about this in the comments. So ask away or drop your ideas, or especially your hopes that you hope to see. And if you enjoy this, I've been Samurai Kibuji, and I look forward to reflecting on the past, present, and future of video games with you.